Okay, hi. In this video I am installing Arch Linux on QEMU, which is very hard to do since QEMU is a terminal tool that isn't beginner friendly and Arch Linux isn't also beginner friendly. And yes, I am using Arch by the way. I will have to make a virtual machine in QEMU. Virtual machine is a program that lets you run operating systems inside operating systems. It's just a device emulator, and QEMU is one of those programs. Let's make a directory for our VM. Now we go to the directory. We need to make a QEMU img create f, which is a format, qcow2, name, disk, and let's do 20 giga. So create image of format qcow2. Qcow2 I won't explain, read about it, of a name disk, and it will have 20 giga qcow to save space. Boom. Now we got a disk, copy from users share adk to x64 ovm vars to vars ls. This is for UEFI, so I want a UEFI, not legacy BIOS. We're gonna make a nano run sh, so we don't have to type everything all the time. When we got our disk and variables for UEFI, this probably stores settings. Both of them are disks, images. Here we're gonna save our files, and on vars are UEFI settings. Nanorun, which will be a sh script, and we're gonna do QEMU system x86 64. I'm gonna specify that I wanna enable KVM. This is for performance stuff, so it tells QEMU do not emulate hardware, just use the one the host uses. I'm gonna do CPU host, so it uses host as CPU. Mine is Intel, it doesn't simulate any ARM or shit like that. Next, CMP 8, which means I'm gonna use 8 cores. RAM, which is 8 giga of RAM. I'm gonna allocate 8 giga. I have 8 giga, so I'm basically allocating all resources to this virtual machine. We need to put a UEFI if pflash, which probably means that it is firmware shit. Format raw read only on, so it can only read, and file. Okay, Ctrl+Shift+V. Okay, next line. We need to specify the variables, settings probably, flash, format, raw, file, and this will be vars. We need to specify our drive on which we will save stuff, so this will be format, qcow2, file, this will be simply disk. And now we need to specify CD-ROM, which is a ISO I'm gonna install. Ctrl+Shift+V. We're gonna do ls and lsl. I'm gonna make sure that vars is writable, and now we're gonna do sh run. Congratulations, we are in UEFI mode. Why this is so slow? Okay, I'm gonna just boot. So I'm gonna attempt to install Arch Linux. So first, let's confirm that we are in UEFI 64 mode. Cat sys firmware EFI. There is a directory called EFI, which means EFI has been loaded. FU platform size, and this returns 64. So we are in 64 UEFI. That's correct. Load keys.pl, because I'm from Poland. I have Polish keyword layout. Okay, so now we're gonna make sure that we are connected to the internet. Device list. We have no devices. Oh my god. IP link. Oh. So let's ping c3google.com. Congratulations, we're connected into the Wi-Fi. I could just skip this step. Okay, so installation guide. We will need the schema, set font. Oh yeah, this will be a good idea. Set font D. So you see everything what I'm doing. Forgot about it completely. So we are connected to the internet. We can skip this step. Update the system clock. So we're gonna do timedate.ctl. Okay, so we are now going to do fdisk. Let's be okay. And you see this SDA, this third one with 20 giga. This is our disk actually. When you go to desktop, this is this. this disk. Actually, it recognized that it is Kikao disk image. Really cool, even if there's no extension. This is cool. Okay, so we're gonna partition the disks. Partitioning is just the way of dividing drive into parts. There is high chance you're on Windows, and regular user won't notice that actually your system is divided into, as I remember, 5 partitions, I guess. Every partition is for something else. For example, the recovery partition is here just in case if you break Windows, while the biggest partition is reserved for you, your files, your games and stuff like that. If you ever said C drive, you actually meant partition C. The FSDA, which is our disk, print table, of course it's empty, create a new empty GPT partition table. This is what we want. New partition. I remember that this should be a UEFI system partition. So for those who don't know, if you don't have legacy BIOS, you will have to specify a UEFI partition which tells the UEFI system what operating systems are on your device and lets you boot them up. This allows for dual booting, for example. Default 1G. Now we need a swap partition. Okay, so in short, swap is what your system uses when you run out of RAM. On Linux it's called swap, and if you're on Windows there is a hidden file called page file on your drive. This is the same thing. 8 giga, 8G, value out of range. Okay, so let's do maybe 8G. And the rest, let's reserve rest for the files. Now we're gonna print the partition table. It's looking good. Let's change the types. First type will be UEFI, and the second will be swap. Let's print. Okay, it seems correct, so we're gonna write clear lsblk to confirm. So we got 3 SDA partitions, as you see, 1 GB, 8 GB, 11 giga. We must to format them into file systems, so we're gonna go. File systems are just the way your device saves stuff and files and shit like that on your drive. The most popular ones are the X4 and BTRFS on Linux. The Windows uses NTFS, which Linux can understand, read and write into, but we cannot use it for a Linux installation because of how Unix works. It's two completely different systems. Make file system X4 dev SDA 3, which is our files partition. Okay, cool. Make swap. This will be dev SDA 2, the second partition. We reserved with the 8 GB, and we need to make svfatf of format 32 dev SDA 1. Command not found. Oh, make fs. What do you mean? Maybe capital F? Okay, lsblkf. So SDA1 is FAT32, SDA2 is swap, and SDA3 is ext4. Correct. So now we can mount stuff. So I am explaining this for Windows users because Linux community already knows about that. Windows is a multi-rooted system. Because of that, all your pen drives, drives and shit like that are going under the specific letters. Linux, however, is single-rooted system, which means you can mount everything wherever you want. So what I am basically doing here is mounting the partitions into specific folders. We have SDA3, which is our files partition, into MNT. Another mount the AFI partition, SDA1 MNT boot FI, make dir, and swap on dev SDA2. SBLK, yes, everything is done correctly. So now this is the part where we install the Arch. This is the part where I install Arch and a couple of programs. On Linux, most of apps are installed via package manager. This is the preferable way of installing stuff on Linux, since you can update your system, all apps and other stuff with single command. It's very comfortable way of installing stuff, trust me. Did you know that actually Windows got a package manager too? It's called Winget. Try it out. Packstrap K. Wait, this was capital K, right? Right. Into MNT, and we now specify the packages we want to install. Base is the required one. It's is the Arch Linux one, okay. Linux kernel, Linux firmware. So our computer knows how to use hardware. Okay, so I am actually on KVM and I plan to use KVM. And since I got Intel CPU, I'm gonna do Intel code. User spares utils for file systems. FSCK. What is FSCK? It's for file system check. This is used to check and optionally repair one or more Linux file system. Okay, so this is the check disk like on Windows. We actually don't need it. I'm gonna need only VFAT, ext4, and this will be literally all. So we install those FS tools and we install ext4, which is in the E2FS pros. Okay, we can close it now. We don't need network manager because we are not in Wi-Fi. We are already connected. At least I think. Let's install it just in case. Network manager, authentication software for modem manager, console editor, nano. Let's do sudo also. Sudo is a thing that lets you run commands as a root user. Unlike on Windows, there is only one user that can do everything, which is called root. Think of it like a administrator on Windows. So think of sudo as a run this command as a administrator thing. Man db, man pages, and text info. We probably also will need a LVM. Okay, LVM probably is the better option. What? Oh, you expect me to explain? I have no fucking idea what is it to. Where's the package? There's no package to install. Give me LVM. Advantages, yada. Oh, here it is. LVM 2. LVM 2, we got it installed. So I guess this is all we will really need. So we hit enter and wait. Oh, it actually installed when I came back. So the next step on our list will be configure the system. We're gonna gen fstab, which tells the Linux how to mount the drives on boot. Gen fstab mnt, wait, u mnt, and write it into a file. Mnt edits, etc. fstab. Let's check if it's correct. Everything is correct. Now we can chroot arch chroot mnt. Okay, so that pwt, and we are now inside our disk. We have to set time. lnsf user share zone info Euro Warsaw, and we copy it into ST local time. Oh fuck, LSL, it auto completed it. Holy shit. No RM, it's local gen. I hope I didn't break anything. Local time, RM, etc. Local time, HW clock, sys to HC. We need to edit a etc. local gen. Oh yeah, I removed it. I guess I will have to guess UTF-8 and US UTF-8. So this is what this file was for, but I fortunately remember what you are supposed to put here. Local gen, bad entry and US UTF UTF-8. What do you mean? Probably I will have to do like this. UTF-8, UTF-8. And now localgen, right? Okay, I did it. Cannot open local definition file pl, no such file directory. What do you mean? Let me guess. pl. Okay, it worked. Now we're gonna set the language of the OS, which will be inside the nano etc local conf. So we do lang n us utf-8 because I wanna go with English. I like English. Now we do nano etc v console conf key map, which will be in my case pl. Now we set a host name. Let's call it ChemuVM or ArchVM. Let's do ArchVM. We can change it later probably. Okay, so making it CPO was already called with the pacman. This builds the init ramfs, which is the mini system that boots before your main system, so that it prepares stuff and shit. Pass with it. This way we set a new password for root. Let's do 1234 1234. It doesn't have to be secure because it's virtual machine. Okay, we need to now install grub, the bootloader. The bootloader just, you know, boots stuff, boots your system. The most popular one is grub. We need to install grub and feboot mgr. So sudo pacman s grub and feboot mgr. Yes, I wanna install. We can actually skip the targets and bootloader because group always in my case just guesses it right. Grab install fe directory, which will be in our case boot fi. Now we need to make a configuration. Make config all boot grab cfg yada yada. Okay, we can do nano but grab cfg. Do not edit this file. We're gonna ignore that. We are not going to code. I just wanna change one thing. Actually, did you know you can change menu entries? For example, here Arch Linux, I can change it to use Arch by the way, and here advanced options menu, I can change it to use Arch settings by the way, and I'm gonna call UEFI firmware settings, enter the gulag, the meme. We're literally done. We can just reboot, but I'm gonna do something different. Shut down now. Okay, we are in chroot, so exit first and shut down now. Okay, our virtual machine is shutting down. Boom. Okay, so nano run, and now we're gonna remove the CD-ROM, the ISO, and now we're gonna execute shrun. And if everything done correctly, look at this. We got use Arch by the way, use Arch settings by the way, enter the gulag. You can change the entries names in this grub config, but don't change anything else unless you know what you're doing. There is high chance you're gonna break grub and you will have to fix it. So we're gonna use Arch by the way. And this loading Linux initial RAM disk. This RAM disk is the mini system I was talking about that boots before your system. It prepares stuff. Okay, ArchVM login. Okay, so set fonts D, so you see what I'm doing. Let's do, I don't know, user-add haxo tfm, which stands for create home directory. When we look in home, there's my folder sudo vim suvi vsudo export editor and now vsudo admin all install user mod haxotf append group admin group add admin, and now we can do this haxotf. Oh yes, I forgot, we have to set a password haxotf 1 2 3 4. Now we can exit. We can do my username. Congratulations. I can do who am I. Also sudo who am I. What we can do now, actually in Arch. I know you can install stuff, for example. C matrix. Oh my god. pinkc3google.com. Systemctl status network manager loaded disabled. So we need to enable it. Systemctl enable now network manager. pinkc google.com. Oh wait. Free. Congratulations, we can use internet. I was right about the network manager. We have to install it anyway. Network manager 2y. Activate connection. We got only a wired connection because we're in VM. Probably that's why. Now we can do, I don't know, sudo pacman s c matrix. C matrix. We got a cool terminal. Let's install some desktop environments. Qemu, emg, resize, disk plus. Let's add another 20, so I got 40, or maybe 50. I want a 50. shrun. lsblk, fdisk, dev sda. Oh wait. Sudo. Partition number. Right, lsblk. Now I got 41 gigabytes. Okay, so let's install some desktop environment. Something light. Mate. And there's sudo pacman sddm. And mate. Just install. Another 1 giga. That one gonna pass. Clear. Okay, so this is probably literally it. We installed Arch. We can also install desktop environment, but I'm not going to do this, so I'm gonna just shut down now. Have a nice day.